Hey guys, Eric for the Flute Spot here. Today we're going to work on the etude number 2, page 2 for the Texas All-State Flute Etudes 26-27. So we're talking about tone, and oftentimes we think of tone only when we deal with the slow movements, but when in reality we need to focus our tone more on the fast movement. Because what happens is when we have a lot of articulation like we do in this one, is that our aperture loses focus and the tone kind of spreads, and that's not what we want. We want to keep the tone consistent all the way through. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to take notes and pause, play some sections and pause through there to hear the tone with it and see if we can keep it connecting from one part of the phrase to the next. Not really phrase, but chunks. We're going to go through and do this from chunk to chunk to chunk, starting with a good tone and ending on a good tone in that chunk, and see if we can keep it consistently while we're articulating through. Now, as we're doing this, I'm not focusing on rhythm, I'm not focusing on tempo, and I'm not worried about super short staccatos yet. All those elements will be added later, but right now I'm worried about the tone of the piece. So as I do this, I'll do chunks of it within it, okay? Now, I'll try to do it a little melodically so I can get it in my ear, the harmony that's going on within the ear. And also that'll help me is once I get it up to tempo to give it some sort of phrasing within that, okay? Another good thing about this helps get it on your finger again, because you're not worried about speed, you're not worried about tempo or rhythm, you're just worried about the tone and the notes, of course. So we have notice I put little pauses in there so I can check to make sure the tone is sounding good and consistent all the way through. I was running out of breath there, and that's why the tone suffered on the low C sharp. But once we get it up to speed or closer to speed and rather rhythm, then we can worry about what actual breathing we do. Again, the chunks as we're going through, and hopefully you're following along the etude as I do this. To help, again, focus the notes. I'm worried about tone, not speed or rhythm. And notice how I'm trying to really focus on as we come on down, because that's a place where we're going to have the problem of the low notes and articulation fast and a little spread. Working on those low notes, especially when we get down to the bottom of the bottom of the staff and bottom of the instrument. Really focusing, making sure we're not pushing in, we're not squeezing, but we got a nice open sound. Had to recorrect that. Notice how it didn't quite do within that. So that's what we're working on. So the fast ones are a great way of working on tone, because we want to keep it consistent from chunk to chunk. And yes, we will work it with a metronome, and we'll get it up to speed, and we'll work on crisp articulation and flowing melodic lines. But again, tone. That's what we got to do. So get the tone. That'll help get the notes under your fingers. Also help as you're doing melodic interpretation and phrasing later on. So don't neglect tone just because it's fast. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.